Excellent. Hi, how are you? Welcome. I want to welcome you. If you have been tuning in and watching Stay Connected with Mel Robbins, and you are tuning in again, welcome back. And if you are tuning in for the first time from somewhere around the world, I want to welcome you. This is Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. It is a live broadcast that you can watch every single weekday at the exact same time around the world. And the purpose of this is to give you a simple step that you can take every single day in order to stay grounded, to stay in control, to take control of the things that you can control in this wildly overwhelming time. Because when you know that you can do simple things to make your life a little bit better, even when you're facing this unprecedented moment right now, that means success. And when you start to feel a little bit more successful because you're doing simple things every day that make your life a little bit better, then you start to feel more confident. And you're going to hear me say, my name is Mel Robbins. I'm going to introduce myself to those of you that are new to our community in just a second. You're going to hear me say every single day that you're one decision away from a different life. You're one decision away from a better day. And you are one decision away from feeling better right now. And I'm really excited about today's topic because we're going to be talking about a really complicated feeling that a lot of us are feeling. And how do I know that you're feeling this big word? It begins with a D. Any guess as to what it might be? It's a complicated emotion. We're going to be unpacking the emotion of disappointment. And I'm going to get into it. But first, I wanted to just take a second and I wanted to introduce myself to those of you that are just tuning in for the first time that may not know me. My name is Mel Robbins. And I am the author, best known author for, I am best known for writing something called the 5-Second Rule. It is an international bestseller that has been read by millions. It's in 32 languages. It's only been out for 3 years. And I'm also the author of 3 #1 audiobooks on Audible that are all about helping you take control, about your mindset, about improving your relationships. And I am here every single day because I want to stay connected to you. I am also the host of a television show here in the United States that is on 5 days a week. It is called The Mel Robbins Show. It is a modern advice show where we focus on the issues that real people are facing in their lives. It is airing through September nationwide in the United States. You can also find episodes online. And so who am I in your life? Well, first of all, I'm a fellow human going through this really wild moment in time. And I am also your life coach. And it's funny because I don't have all the answers. One of the things that you're going to find that's really interesting about me is that unlike a lot of experts that show up and they're certain, I am figuring this out in real time alongside of you. So it is March 25th. We are in day 10 of self-isolation, my family and I, outside of Boston. I need to take a moment and open my window. I'm 51 years old. Can you see I'm having a hot flash? They're starting to happen more and more and more frequently. Oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't wear a sweater to my live broadcast. Maybe that's something that I'm learning about myself. So I want to take a minute and I want to ask you, tell me, where are you tuning in from? And the other question I want you to contemplate before I come to you and I start taking all kinds of information from the comments. I see you joining us from Italy. I want to know where you're watching from right now. Okay, tell me. Oh, I see Africa. I see Mississippi, Los Angeles. Welcome everybody to Stay Connected with Mel Robbins, Seattle, Columbia. I love it. I also want to tell you, if you have a friend that is struggling, if you have a friend you want to stay connected with, do me a favor, open up your text message and make sure you text them and you send them a link to Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. We are building a community of encouragers, of people who are encouraging each other to stay positive. Hello, Canada. Hello, India. Hello, San Diego. I see you. I see you, Colorado. I'm so excited that you are here watching Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. Hello, Morocco and South Korea and Saudi Arabia and Buenos Aires. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Canada, Morocco, Mexico. One of the things that I know, Syria, thank you from Syria for tuning in. One of the things that I know is that this is a collective moment. This is a moment that we are sharing together, and this is a moment that we are going to get through together. And I've been looking at all of your comments, not only on our live stream, and if you are curious, like, what is this? Basically, every day at 9 o'clock in the morning at noon, 9 o'clock in the morning in LA, noon on the Eastern Seaboard in the US, 4 p.m. in the UK, 9:30 in India, and 3 a.m. in Australia, I go live to stay connected with you. And as you can see from Mexico, New Mexico, Germany, Poland, this is a global broadcast and a global community, because we are having a global experience. And what I want to talk to you about today is disappointment. And the reason why I want to talk to you about disappointment is because disappointment is something that I think every single human being on the planet is feeling right now. Are you feeling a level of sadness and anger and frustration and fear? That mix is disappointment. Disappointment is a very complicated emotion, and there is a lot that people are disappointed about right now. Here in the United States, tomorrow is opening day, or it was supposed to be opening day of baseball season. We should be in the middle of March Madness, the huge basketball tournament, and I think collectively what we're in the middle of instead is something called March Sadness. The Olympics just got pushed off. Weddings are getting pushed off. High school graduations are getting canceled. Bar mitzvahs are getting canceled. Summer trips are getting canceled. My brother I was on the phone with my brother the other night, and he told me that they have canceled their trip in July to go float the Grand Canyon. And my daughter, I was just talking to my daughter, and she was explaining that so many of her friends are starting to get their summer internships canceled. And I want to talk about disappointment, because disappointment is what you feel when something that you expected to happen didn't happen. And I want to start us off with a quote from Anne Lamott. Expectation is resentment waiting to happen. I'm going to say that again. Expectation is resentment waiting to happen. And I know that there are so many expectations that you had about what you would be doing right now. What would you be doing this week? What you would be doing this month? That's not happening because of this global pandemic. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment. There's one right there. I can't see my new grandbaby twins who were born yesterday. Funerals are getting canceled in Spain. I want you to write down in the comments, what is it that you're disappointed that is not happening right now? What are you disappointed about in terms of how this pandemic is impacting your life? What are you disappointed about because something got canceled? We can't go outside, is what somebody's saying. Funerals are getting postponed. You know, we just had somebody that used to work on the Mel Robbins show lose a family member to the virus. And first of all, I just want to send a huge amount of love to this person. And I would imagine that maybe they're not going to be able to have a funeral in the traditional sense. And that must be tremendously disappointing. I see canceled travel plans. I see that I can't spend time with my new fiance. I see disappointed in families' decisions in this time on those of you in Facebook. What are we seeing on LinkedIn? Those of you watching on Twitter, you can go ahead and tweet to this response. If you're on YouTube, put it on the comments. My son might not graduate. I'm shooting a very important wedding in my career that's been canceled. I can't leave the U.S. due to immigration paperwork. We know, based on our family connection, that there's a family here near us who has a family member who cannot get back from Peru right now. She is away on a year study abroad. She is stuck with about 250 other U.S. citizens in Peru trying to get home. And I want you to talk about this disappointment and what you're feeling, because the thing about disappointment, I'm going to say it again, is it's an expectation, right, that's not happening. And when you have expectations that aren't met, it's a resentment that's waiting to happen. And so I bet if you have family members that are acting out, I guarantee you it's because they have not processed disappointment right now. They have not even allowed themselves to go there. And there's so much triggering stuff right now. You know, whether it's spring sports. I mean, think about what an outlet spring sports are for people, whether it's something that you watch together as a family or it's something that you do as a family. Spring break, commencement's coming up, Easter services. You know, we are going through a moment that none of us have ever experienced before. So nobody knows what the hell they're doing, right? We're just doing the best that we can. And so I think that we got to talk about the disappointment that you're feeling. And you got to give yourself permission to feel it, because if you don't own what you're feeling, and if you don't give yourself the space to move through it, it's going to eat you alive. And it's going to cause you to act out. For me, when I get disappointed, I get sad and angry. That's what I feel. I get short with my family members. And I do this thing, and I don't know if you've done this thing where, you know, if you're watching this live stream, I'm going to assume that you're safe. If you're watching this live stream and I see all this stuff you guys are disappointed by, I can't pay the rent. You know, I can't do what I want to do. I can't see my parents. I can't go outside. I see all these things that you're disappointed by. And I can't, Michelle on Facebook, I can't go to, what was it, Mandy? My daughter's graduation. I just saw somebody say, I'm disappointed that my husband can't be in the delivery room with me because of new protocols based on the coronavirus. And so I want you to write down, what are you disappointed by right now? What are you present to? And I'm going to talk about why this is such a complex emotion. And then I'm going to give you some very simple steps to help you name it. Because you should not fix the disappointment. You should feel the disappointment. That's critical. Did you hear what I just said? You should not try to fix this disappointment. You should feel it first. Because feeling it and naming it and really letting yourself mourn something that you're disappointed that you're not going to be able to do, that's how we start to have it lessen its grip on you. And I want to share something really personal that happened to me this morning. I was in the kitchen. Wait, let me see if my daughter, Soy, would you come in here? Do you mind? She's been exercising. She's going to kill me. I'm going to see if she'll come in because it happened with our oldest daughter today. I was in the kitchen and we were talking, and you don't need to jump on just yet if you want to, or come over here and kind of hang with me. It's literally little. This is our oldest daughter, Sawyer, who's disgusting, she says, and because she's just been exercising. If you have a floor in your house, you have a home gym. So Soy, what happened this morning, I'm going to talk to them. I know it's weird because I'm actually talking to you, but I want to explain what happened. So I came into the kitchen this morning, and Sawyer was on her phone, and you were making breakfast. And I don't know how it came up, but you said something about oh, I know. She asked me if she needed to take a professional photo, right? Do you remember this conversation, Soy? Yeah. She needed to take a professional photo because she's a rising senior at Boston College. She's now home taking classes to finish her junior year. And she has a summer internship at a really amazing technology company here in Boston doing marketing. And she said to me this morning, I need to take a professional photo. And I said, what for? And she said, it's for my summer internship. And I said, oh, well, that's great that, thank God that's still happening. And then do you remember what you told me?
I just said that a bunch of my friends' internships have been canceled.
Yeah, so a bunch of summer jobs have been canceled this summer. And that creates a tremendous amount of disappointment. And I know some of your jobs have been canceled. And what happened in that moment is I did exactly what you shouldn't do. I have this thing that I do as a parent and as a person that when I feel slightly anxious, I try to fix everything. Instead of stopping and taking a beat and listening and really getting present to what this person that I love is saying, and I'm going to start to cry. I turn into like the locomotive and I move forward 100 miles an hour to try to make everything okay. And I did that with you because what I did, Soy, is I said, oh, well, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I didn't even ask you if you were nervous about your internship getting canceled. I just said, it's going to be okay. And then I went to fix it instead of feel it. I said, if your summer internship gets canceled, I'll find a job for you. You can work for our company. I can help you. You can help me with the live streamers. I went to fix it. And I think the reason why I went there is because it's so uncomfortable to feel these deep emotions. It's so uncomfortable to know that people that you love might be scared. It's so uncomfortable to be in the discomfort and the sadness and the anger of this moment. And so I wanted to apologize to you.
I accept your apology.
And I want to know, what are you feeling right now? What are you disappointed about, Zoe?
I'm disappointed that my junior year got cut short right when I got to Boston College.
Yep.
I'm sad that I'm not with any of my friends right now and that it's a lot harder than I thought to take classes online. I'm nervous about this summer and no offense being cooped up in the house.
No offense.
I don't know, I'm just hoping it all comes to a close sooner rather than later.
And is there one thing in particular that you're disappointed about more than something else?
I think right when we left, school was right when everything was like really ramping up and we had a ton of plans that were already set in stone and then all of them just like got canceled and we were all just like really looking forward to it, but it didn't happen. So
yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of bummed about, but
yeah. And
okay.
Here's something that I learned from Brene Brown, that having the perspective, and this is the perspective we all need. First of all, you should not fix your disappointment. You got to first feel it. That's takeaway number one. Okay. Because when you talk about it, when you name what you're feeling, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling disappointed, it loosens its grip on you. And the anger and the acting out, it doesn't bottle up, because if you don't own these feelings and if you don't feel these feelings, they will eat you alive. And one of the mistakes that I've made as a parent is, first of all, trying to fix everything. Okay. Major mistake. Second thing I've made a mistake as a parent during this time is I get so frustrated because I'm disappointed and I'm sad and I'm doing the best that I can, that I have that moment. Do you remember the movie Moonstruck where she's like, snap out of it, where you want to just yell at somebody and go, come on, you got food, you're safe, you're going to be fine, at least you're going to college, and you try to slap perspective into somebody. And you do it because you're frustrated. You do it because you're disappointed. You do it because you're on edge. And perspective is a function of experience. And none of us have ever gone through anything like this before, ever. And she's also only 21. I have a totally different level of perspective at the age of 51. A different level of confidence, knowing that we're going to get through this, knowing that better days are coming, knowing that spring break can get rescheduled. Knowing that we're very, very lucky to be in a house and have supplies and have internet access. And so the thing that I noticed about myself too is that when the kids first came home and they were super angry that spring break got canceled and the Boston Marathon's been canceled. That's the best day on campus, right? And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, you spoiled, entitled kids. The truth is, her disappointment over the Boston Marathon getting canceled is real. And based on her perspective and life experience, it does feel like the end of the world. For your 8th grader or your high schooler with baseball season coming up, who was expecting to be recruited or hoping that this was going to be the season, that disappointment is soul crushing for somebody that's only 15, 16, 17 years old because they don't have the perspective that you and I have. So it's so important that you understand that this is a collective moment of disappointment, that whatever disappointments you're feeling are real, and put your disappointments in the comments right now. I need you to feel it first. We don't fix it first. We feel the disappointment first. Is there anything else that you want to say you're disappointed about? I can tell you something I'm disappointed about.
Sure.
So as I look out the window right now, everybody, I see a planter. And it is full of ugly, dark, dirty dirt. It looks very depressing. And one of the things you may not know about me is that I am a gardener. I love gardening. My parents are huge gardeners. I learned my love of gardening and my green thumb from my parents. I also have grandparents that are farmers. So me, the earth, getting my hands dirty, playing with flowers, planting things, moving things around, that is like food for my soul. And right now is the time that I would be going to my favorite plant places, local businesses that aren't open right now, and I'd be buying my pansies and I'd be buying my daffodils from my pots, and I would be planting my planters for spring. And doing that is not only food for the soul, but it also makes me feel so connected to my parents who are in Michigan. And I am really disappointed that I can't do that right now. And I am very disappointed that this week I was supposed to be in the panhandle of Florida, in the Destin area, with my parents, just chilling out, and I'm not there. And so I am feeling this disappointment. And I want you to right now write in the comments, because we're not going to fix it first. We got to feel it first. Okay, everybody, you're going to write in the comments, what are you disappointed to in this moment? It could be really little. Anything else you want to say, Soy, about disappointment?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Do you feel better?
Yeah. Feel better. You're the best.
You're the best too.
Love you.
I love you too. So the other thing I want you to do is, now that you're naming this disappointment, not having a hug for weeks, not seeing my boyfriend, starting to feel depressed, my husband, I'm disappointed that my surgery was canceled. Yes, I miss 30A as well. I really do. That graduation was canceled. A lot of things getting canceled. I see that. And here's what I want you to understand. Disappointment is a really complicated emotion because it's a combination of a bunch of things. It's a combination of hurt, of anger, of sadness, and here's the big one. You ready? Loss. Loss. You are literally grieving something that you expected to happen. And so I love this. I see everything that you're putting in here. My trip to California to see my best friend, not being able to get my surgery. My business is suffering. I didn't see parents on my birthday. We see on LinkedIn. We see no Zumba. And, don't laugh. Because here's the other thing that I was making in terms of mistake is I was dismissing my disappointment. I was making myself wrong for being sad that I can't do this thing outside and plant my planters. Do not invalidate yourself. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel it, because it's a complicated emotion. And so as you're naming it and stating it, You need to honor it, okay? So here's something that I find to be really helpful. It's very hard to see. If you ever watch the Mel Robbins show, you can go to melrobbins.com/stay connected, and you will be able to find a link to what we call a word wheel. And I use this all the time to help me find words that are helpful. Right here in the center are the words that we typically speak in. I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm angry, I'm afraid, I'm surprised. And then when you come out, I'm happy, you go and you get into these deeper, more complicated words. And on the outer edge are words like I'm disappointed, I am inadequate, I'm inferior, I'm insignificant, I'm helpless, I feel out of control, I feel perplexed. And finding the exact emotion that you're feeling is super, super, super helpful. Because when you identify that thing that you're feeling and you allow yourself to feel it, which is the hardest thing in the world to do. I mean, I just gave you an example live of how hard it is to stand in discomfort. And that's what disappointment is. It's uncomfortable. It's one of the hardest feelings to stay in because it's a mix of all these other things. I go to fixing it like you just saw with my daughter because it's uncomfortable to stand with somebody that you love who is feeling sad or feeling disappointed or feeling frightened. And so finding your words, using this word wheel can really help you process it faster. So once you've named it and you've felt it and you've stood in the discomfort, now let's give you a couple simple things to move through it, okay? Here we go. The number one thing that helps you with disappointment, once you name it, once you feel it, once you honor it, is reminding yourself that better days are coming. And here's how you can do that. I have found it extraordinarily helpful to pick a day out in the future. And for me, it's the end of August. I don't care what the experts say right now. I'm just picking the end of August. And I'm picking a day where I am anchoring myself out in the future saying better days are coming. I know that. I can be disappointed that all this stuff is happening, but better days are coming. Pick a new date when the better days are coming. And here's a trick that has helped me. I want you to think about something that you would love to do once the pandemic is over, once we have gotten through this together, once we can all go outside, once our doctors and nurses are safe and sound, and all of this chaos has left us behind, where do you want to go? What is the thing you most look forward to doing? I'm going to share mine, then I want you to share yours, okay? So the thing I am most looking forward to doing is I am most looking forward to going back home where I grew up to Western Michigan and going out to the state park at Lake Michigan and walking across those sand dunes and walking across the sand and going out into Lake Michigan and taking a swim. When I can do that, I am now this is behind me, the disappointment is behind me, and I know that I am in better days. And once you get that visual picture, so let's first describe for me what you're going to do. One of my friends, she had a huge trip planned to Disney World. That, of course, got canceled. And so they are now picking a date out in the future, and they are going to plan an epic trip to Disney. And since they have all this time, they're going to stay in an even better hotel. I have another friend. I know what Sawyer's is going to be. My daughter, who was just in here, the best day of the year, she says, at college is when the Boston Marathon runs. That is happening now in September. So her vision is going to be that those runners are running past Heartbreak Hill, right past Boston College, and she is there with all of her friends. So now that you have, oh, I see this, beach vacation we planned for Labor Day, visit my best friend in Florida. I'm going to the beach. I can't wait to be floating on the lake. Sitting on a beach. We got a lot of beach. Any hikers in the mountain? Colorado trips with my kids. My brother just canceled a trip to float through the Grand Canyon. So I would imagine that might be his. Patty on Facebook says fishing and gardening. Vacation in Charleston, South Carolina. Maybe it's going and hanging out with your family. What are our folks on LinkedIn saying? Visiting my best friend in Amsterdam, going to the Fenway Park, a concert, Hawaii, Sunday dinner with all my family present. Ooh, I love these. A better day is coming. Can't you feel it? Because this is temporary. And so is disappointment. Disappointment is temporary if you don't try to fix it, if you allow yourself to feel it, if you name the key emotion that you're feeling, if you don't invalidate yourself for feeling it and you just allow yourself to mourn it, and then you remind yourself that it's temporary. Visit my best friends in Positano, Italy. Go shopping without fear. Visiting my friends in Europe. I love this. Dan on LinkedIn is going to take an RV trip. Maybe you're looking forward to just getting back to the office and not having to work remote with your kids and your dog underfoot and seeing your colleagues. I want you to keep writing in. You're doing an amazing job. I see all these things that you are writing about the fact that this is temporary and picking a date, couple months out, 6 months out, 3 months out, whatever empowers you, and come up with an image of what you're going to do. You're going to relaunch your business. You're going to rehire employees you had to let go of. You're going to open that restaurant up. What is it that you're going to do? Now, here's the final piece. You ready? And this is the really important one. I need you to find an image. Find an image that represents the Penn State football game that you just wrote about going to. Find an image of the concert you're going to go to. Find an image of that mountain you're going to climb or your business reopened. Find an image, okay? I'm going to show you mine because I want you to print it out or make it your screensaver. This is an image of the state park that I grew up going to. Walking through the sand dune, heading down to the beach. That's Lake Michigan right there. And this printed out, it sits above my desk. This is what I call a visual anchor. You can also, in scientific research terms, call this an environmental trigger. An environmental trigger is a good thing when used this way. It triggers you subconsciously to remember what we're talking about, that this moment is temporary and that better days are coming. Got it? Good. So let me just recap. Everybody is feeling disappointed. And it is critical that you name your disappointment, because a disappointment is just an expectation that didn't turn out the way that you had hoped it would turn out. And disappointment is the complicated emotion of anger and hurt and sadness that you feel when your expectations aren't met. And when you have expectations that aren't met, that is just resentment waiting to come out. So number one, don't try to fix the disappointment that you have. I want you to name it and feel it first. Number two, once you name it and you feel it, you might find yourself starting to talk yourself out of feeling it. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, don't go there. Don't invalidate yourself. Allow yourself to mourn whatever it is that you're mourning. Allow yourself to feel it, because that's the only way that you are going to move through this. It also builds self-awareness. It builds resiliency. Disappointment blows because it's so uncomfortable to feel. So allow yourself to feel it, okay? And then we're going to pull out our visual cue. You got to remind yourself that you're sad right now, you're mourning this loss, but this is temporary. Better days are coming. Figure out a date and something you're so excited to do. Find a photo that represents it, print it out, stick it up. This becomes your visual anchor that reminds you that this is just temporary. Got it? Good. See, I told you that even though none of us have ever done a global pandemic before, that we'd figure it out together. And I also want to tell you that there are going to be a lot more disappointments that show up. You might be disappointed when you go to the store later today that there's no chicken stock left. You might be disappointed that there's no toilet paper. You might be disappointed that you can't get the medication filled today. You might be disappointed that you're stuck indoors longer than you thought. But you don't need to fix that. Just feel it when it comes up and then go through the steps. State what you're feeling. Don't invalidate yourself. And then take a look at your visual cue. This is temporary. Better days are coming. Tomorrow, oh boy, wait till you hear what we're talking about tomorrow. We're talking about nagging. Ooh, I see the hearts going up. Are you nagging people? Are people nagging you? Is something nagging at you? We're going to have a really fun day tomorrow talking about the inner nag that we all have. I also want to say something. A lot of you have been asking, how do you get the 5-second rule book? Given that Amazon's not delivering them, you can go and purchase and support independent bookstores by going to bookshop.org. Bookshop.org is shipping books, and they are independent stores, so you're supporting local businesses. Also wanted to make sure that you know that our Facebook group is cranking. There are probably, 15,000 people in this by this point? Over 10,000 people in our Facebook group. This is what it looks like right now. Just go to Facebook and search Stay Connected with Mel Robbins. You can find all episodes there. You will be able to connect with a global community of people that are cheering for each other and inspiring each other. Super cool, amazing, positive support group and encouragement place to be. And so go follow it. And finally, will you do me a favor? If you like this, could you please bring your friends? Would you please share this with friends that need to watch this? It's something that you could do to help because we are all experiencing disappointment. The easiest way to share all of these episodes is go to melrobbins.com/stay connected, and we have a list of all the episodes there. They are also all on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/melrobbins, we've got almost, 700,000 subscribers. 715,000. Become a subscriber to the channel and you'll get a notification every time we put up a new video or we go live. And so I would recommend melrobbins.com or going to youtube.com/melrobbins is the easiest way to stay connected, and you can send links directly to episodes to your friends there. I want to thank you for being here. Staying connected with you is helping me stay present and sane. I'm learning something every single day. You're making me a better parent and a better spouse and a better person. I'm learning a ton from you, and we source all of our topics from your comments. And so if there's something you want to talk about, please let us know. Starting next week, we're going to start bringing on other experts to dive deeper into topics. We're going to be starting to do some Ask Mels. If we can figure it out, we're going to start doing some direct coaching, so that you could even be appearing on this show and getting coaching from me directly. And so there's a lot coming up. Stay connected to us. And in case nobody else tells you today, I want to tell you that I love you. I believe in you. It's okay to feel disappointed by what's happening right now. It's normal to feel that. But what you're learning by staying connected with me is that there are simple things that you can do every single day to face the discomfort that this moment is bringing to all of us, to feel it, and to realize that you can rely on yourself and get through it. And that is one of the greatest gifts on the planet. When you become self-aware and when you develop the courage to know that you can face just about anything, and you're not only going to survive, you're going to come through the other side a stronger and better version of yourself. Alrighty, I'll see you tomorrow, and that's it. Have an awesome day.